What's up, guys? Tuesday, September 20th. Welcome to the BatX Release Show on Covers. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. These are his numbers. These are his projections. And every time I see Derek clicking at the computer there, I know he's still digging into numbers. It never stops, does it, DC?
No, it really doesn't. It'll be nice to rest a little bit once baseball's over. We still have a few weeks left, maybe some playoffs, and there's still plenty of value out there. So I think we got some good ones today.
Fantastic. 16-17 plus 1.56 units in September, nearly 15 units on the season. June, July, August, September, all winning months so far. So let's start off this week. We got 4 on the go. Release procedure. In case you're new here, I know there's lots of people who are everyday guys, and we appreciate it. Go through a release procedure, making sure everybody can get the same price, the same number. We'll tell you which book has the best price, the best odds, and then we'll tell you maybe some secondary books where you can also find it. We'll give you some time. You log into your account, you get there. Then we'll tell you what game we're betting on. Again, giving you some time, find the game, get into the menus, then we'll tell you what prop market we're betting on. Again, giving you a little time, and then finally we'll tell you everything we're betting on: the player, play, the over, and the under. And that's how we do it here, making sure everybody can get the same number, the same price, because Derek's numbers move the market. So in doing that, 4 releases today. Are we ready, Derek?
Ready. Let's go.
Boom. Release number 1. We're over at FanDuel, but this is a widely available play. We're going Cardinals at Padres, the late game. St. Louis at San Diego. Click down there. The prop market we're looking at: pitcher strikeouts. Cards, Padres, pitcher strikeouts. For release number 1, make sure our number is there. It has moved slightly, Derek, at minus 18.
Give me a second.
Holding up, yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's fine still.
Yeah, you do like it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple points, but it's fine.
Okay, for release number 1, we're going San Diego's Mike Clevinger over 3.5 strikeouts. This is moved to minus 118. We had it at minus 110 just before the show, literally 1 minute ago.
I think Caesars might have minus 115. That might be the best line there, but minus 118 is still fine.
Yeah, so shop around. It was a widely available play. With that quick movement, what is your projection for Clevinger today versus the Cards at Petco?
Projection's 5.1, so we're getting a strikeout and a half above this number. So, it moves a couple points. It's still fine. We had this at the beginning of the day, I think. Was this the one that was plus 110 and it's just been moving?
Yeah, you messaged plus 102 and that was like at 10:30.
Yeah. So it's been moving. It's, we're clearly on the right side of the market here. The bat projects it strikeout and a half over, about a 70% win chance, some good value here. It's really just about Clevinger's talent more than anything else. The Cardinals do project as the lowest strikeout team of the day in terms of like their talent level. But Clevinger's a good pitcher. He's a good pitcher with some strikeout stuff, and that's really what it comes down to here.
Yeah, he's not the pitcher, obviously, he once was, but with a 3.5 strikeout total, that's obviously being priced into these matchups.
Yeah, like it's just such a low number. If it was a 4.5 market, we'd probably be passing on it, but at 3.5, he's just better than that. Yeah,
36 Ks, 38 innings pitched at home this year compared to a...
I mean, he's averaged close to 4.5 this year. Like he's, it's too low.
And he'll probably get to face Albert Pujols on the right side. How's your Albert? Are you holding on to your Albert Pujols 700 home run prop tightly there, Derek, or no?
I do not have any Albert Pujols tickets. I want no part of that.
if you're new to the show, Derek Carty is not a stout Pujols supporter for his trek for 700 right now. So there we are. We're on Mike Clevinger over 3.5 Ks. That slipped, but we're still on the market side as we see everybody else kind of minus 140 some places. Bet Rivers minus 112, 365. Malcolm says at minus 115. No player props available at MGM. There we go. Okay, Wokeman plus 490. I'm assuming that's for Pujols, so he'll get a heavy dose of right-handed bats. They'll give him the chances, that's for sure. Let's get over to release number 2 before this one moves to. We are at Bet Rivers, but also available at 365 and Caesars. As Evan said, his Wi-Fi died. The play was Mike Clevenger over 3.5 Ks. We got that at minus 118, Evan. So release number 2, we're at Bet Rivers. Same game, Cardinals at Padres. Going back to the prop market of strikeouts as well. And let's hope this number is still there. And no, it is not.
Oh my God, again?
And I think this was the one you said if it dipped too much, you probably would pass, right?
Probably. Yeah, let me hold on.
It's moved 14 points.
Yeah, we're gonna pass on that one. Yeah, I don't think we can do that. We might circle back to it. Let me see if there's another book that still has a decent number. But for now, let's move on.
Okay. The boys are fluid today because the markets are moving, but we're not just going to release it just because we wanted it 2 minutes ago and it moved 14 points. Crazy Carl, no, don't try to project what it was, but that's certainly that wasn't it. The market's moving the other way. So let's jump over. I'll release the next one here, Derek. If you want to keep going, me and producer Dell will get over to release number 3. We're at MGM, available at FanDuel, Caesars 365, widely available play. Cubs at Marlins. Cubs at Marlins, and we are back on the strikeout prop market. Do you think the pitcher strikeout market has the least variance of most of the plays here, Derek? Of most of the baseball markets?
Yeah, I mean, pitcher markets in general are going to have a little bit less variance than hitter markets because you get a bigger sample size, and strikeouts are a pretty stable stat to begin with. So yeah, I'd say it has limited variance relative to other things.
Yeah, so if you're following the show and you're like, why aren't we playing a bunch of total bases or singles? Because
it's also just because this is a market that tends to show more value than these other ones, just by the way the books set the lines.
Okay, our number is there, which is great for us for release number 2. Pablo Lopez over 6.5 strikeouts, minus 120. Pablo Lopez over 6.5 Ks, minus 120 versus the Cubs. Let us know where you got it. Let us know your number. Talk me through this one, Derek. What are the projections here? This closed at 5.5 in his last game, but the market's moving in his favor on this side for the over.
Yeah, the bat is projecting 8.5 here. So we're looking at just an inefficient, like this should be a 7.5 or an 8.5 market. The bat thinks this Cubs lineup, I mean, it's not official yet, but this is probably going to be a very strikeout heavy Cubs lineup. Like the projected lineup is just insane in terms of the number of strikeout bats in it. And that's really what it comes down to. The Cubs are taking a park downgrade going into Miami, and they're very strikeout heavy and a very bad offense. And so that's really what it comes down to. Pablo Lopez is not a big strikeout guy, but he is a good pitcher. He is efficient. He's got a pitcher's umpire here. And so the bat just thinks any 6.5 number is worth hitting. This is the best one we could find, but we're getting 2 strikeouts above this from the projection.
Fantastic. So if you were, I don't know, just a regular bettor, as I try to figure out my background. Oh, we'll just leave it there. If you were just a regular bettor and you saw his market was at 5.5 the last game, maybe even a little shorter in one of the other games, but the market's going the other way, a stubborn bettor might hit this, but you need to pay attention to the reason why the market's going that way. And a lot of it has to do with that Chicago lineup that's likely going out. So in these pitching strikeouts, there's a ton to factor into. Derek gets into catcher framing, obviously. Umpires, if the umpire's out, park strikeouts suppression or help. So there's a ton of other factors that usually aren't priced in as much. So Pablo Lopez over 6.5 Ks minus 120. We are jumping to. Can we circle back yet, Derek, or no?
Yeah, we can. If we want to jump to Caesars, what is going on with my hair? Caesars.
Oh, Caesars. All right, we're at Caesars. We're going to circle back to the San Diego at St. Louis game, and we are at Caesars. The game in question, Cardinals at Padres, as we make life difficult for producer Dell. But he's up to the task, and we jump over to pitcher strikeouts. And if Dell could zoom in so I know that that's there, and it is there. Is that there? No, that number's good?
That number's good.
Okie dokie. For release number something, I believe it's 3. St. Louis starting pitcher Adam Wainwright over 3.5 strikeouts. This number has moved. Over 3.5 strikeouts. Adam Wainwright. And he says this number here is great. And I really like this play. Closed at 4.5 in 7 of his last 10, and it was as high as 5.5 in 3 of those others. We obviously know that the leash is long. His last game, it was a subjective handicap. His last game was weird because that was the game he was with Yadi, and it was such a big game because I think they broke the record for most pitcher-catcher combinations, and it was a big media thing, so that should calm things down today. Over 3.5 Ks. What do you like here?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to the Clevenger one where it's just too low of a number for who he is. Like, he's not a big strikeout guy, and he is facing a good and low strikeout San Diego lineup, but 3.5 is too low. The bat's projecting about 4.25, so we're not getting quite a full strikeout, but we are getting it at plus money, and especially relative to the rest of the market, this line is good. Like, there's some of the sharper books, minus 111, minus 115. So,
plus 110 at Bet 365. There it is.
That's the number we had before, but we were all right.
Yeah.
Well,
So, yeah. As Derek said, that was the number we had initially, plus 110, went down to it. And yeah, we had to circle back. But yeah, we'll take that anyway.
So yeah, it's this is probably the lowest margin play of the ones we're giving out today, but I still think it's a good one at this number. If you're getting it, beyond even money, in the negative side, then you're probably passing on it.
Fantastic. So double dip pitcher strikeouts in the late cards at Padres game at Petco with Clevenger and Adam Wainwright over strikeouts.
It's also good pitching weather there in that game, I should mention. It's like 70 degrees, so it's fairly cool, and it's double-digit winds blowing in, so that's going to help both of those guys.
Fantastic. Pablo Lopez over 6.5 Ks, and then we have one more release here that was a late ad, but I love it just the same. For release number 4, we are at Bet Rivers, but available at Caesars and MGM. And let's hope this number's available here too. The game in question, Blue Jays at Phillies, Toronto at Philadelphia. The prop market we're looking at, pitcher strikeouts.
Oh, cool. This one moved too. That's fun.
Okay.
I think the number at Caesars is still good.
Crazy day in the markets, moving around. So we're going to jump over to Caesars. Apologize to everybody in the chat, but I mean, we obviously wish these numbers weren't moving, but there's not much we can do about that.
Yeah.
So there's about 3 or 4 books left with this number. Yes.
Yes, that works.
Okay, so we can do this at Caesars. It was available at MGM. Pitcher strikeouts, Toronto at Phillies. We'll get this one out here at Caesars. Release number 4, Kyle Gibson over 3.5 Ks, minus 149. It was at minus 143. Half the books are at 4.5. There's a handful of books, Bet River, Caesars, MGM at the 3.5. Let us know if you get the 3.5 somewhere at a better price. Let us know if it moves. So here we are with Kyle Gibson over 3.5 Ks, coming off a start where he had 7 strikeouts versus the Marlins, allowed 1 run. I think Gibson's markets are a little low across the board in his last couple starts. I don't think he's valued as good as a pitcher as he actually is. What are your projections here, Derek?
Yep, the projection is 5.1. So, it's a strikeout and a half above. We're paying a decent price for it. So the value is not like massive, but it's definitely there. And again, if you're getting it around this number, much beyond this number, I don't love. But we are seeing, like you said, there's quite a bit of divergence in the market here. Like we're getting it at minus 149. I've seen some sharper books at minus 200. We've seen some books with 4.5 lines already. So, we're on the right side of it here. If you can get in around this number, I like it.
Yeah, 3.5 for, I'm sure if you have his projection numbers up already from RotoGrinders, I'm sure he's getting a full slate, 95 pitches, projecting for roughly probably 18 outs or something.
Yeah, he's projecting for 94 pitches, close to 18 outs, probably about 17 and change. So, he's a guy who has a long leash. It's not a great matchup, but it's just a low number for a guy who's probably going to go deep and, who can get, decent strikeouts and decent efficiency to get there with volume. So that's really all it is.
Perfect. So let's recap. In a day where the market was basically moving in every play that we had, we started things off with Mike Clevenger over 3.5 Ks. The second game we went to was Pablo Lopez over 6.5 Ks. We hit that. The market's moving in that way too. Then we went Adam Wainwright over 3.5 Ks. That moved quite a bit on us. And then we wrapped things up with Kyle Gibson, over 3.5 Ks. minus 149. That will do it for us here on Tuesday. Friday, we didn't talk about Friday, but Friday was a kick. Friday was probably the best projected numbers I've ever seen.
I felt so robbed on Friday. Like we had so much value and it just didn't work out. Like Taijuan Walker, he went into the 8th inning and he didn't get the extra strikeout. It's like he didn't strike a batter out for like his last 2 or 3 innings, it felt like. And it's like come on.
I love the projections last week. So, but today's projections are good too. We're one was 70%, one just under that, and basically over a strikeout in all of these plays that we have. So meet us back here again tomorrow at 11. We're here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at 11, and we'll be discussing hopefully some winners tomorrow. We'll see you then.